ArieForce One, the giant airtime machine located in the small park of Fun Spot America, Atlanta. This coaster was meant to help bring the crowds into the small park. Now, while it's known in the coaster enthusiast world as a must with its powerful airtime, the ride would fail its ultimate goal, and it would lead to the permanent closure of Fun Spot Atlanta on August 2nd, 2026. This ride is talked heavily by coaster enthusiasts, but does it reach that high standard that it's set by its expectation? In this video, I will explain the history of the coming of this ride, the experience you can get, and explain if it's worth the high praises. But let's begin with how this ride began to be. Originally, Fun Spot was looking into putting a roller coaster in their Florida locations, but because how tight land was, and with their newly acquired Atlanta location, they would realize that they would move that project to Atlanta, and they decided to team up with Rocky Mountain Construction to build one of their iBox coasters. This is a completely original layout meant for Fun Spot Atlanta, as it has a 40-foot elevation change. It would be announced to open in 2022, but wouldn't open until 2023. This announcement was a shock, as many people had hardly even heard of this park, let alone even got into this park. But this announcement would draw enthusiasts of Fun Spot Atlanta to arrive to see this beautiful structure with white supports and a red and blue rails. It's such an impressive structure and looks so photogenic. Passing by that highway, you will be met with this coaster as you drive up to the park. Interesting that this is the first and so far only RMC iBox to be fully steel. This will allow for less maintenance compared to wooden supports and will hopefully lead to a relocation in the future. Once you arrive to the back, you'll see all these airtime hills that make this coaster's layout. There's really nothing back here, and it feels completely different from the rest of the park. That kind of feels like the back rooms. This feels grand, it's pretty, but it seems out of place. You'll walk up into that entrance and you'll see that test seat. These trains are the Gen 2 RMC trains that you'll see on Twisted Timber, Steel Vengeance, and Iron Gwazi. One difference that this has is this has 5 cars, so that leaves 10 rows instead of the 12 that we find on those other RMCs. I personally don't have any complaints with the design, but this ride can be restricting depending on your body size due to those shin guards. It's a major complaint RMC gets, and I hope we see one day that they make more accommodating trains, but to me, they're whatever. You'll head through this queue, which most likely will not have a line. There's some cool Easter eggs that you could spend time in this queue, which reminds me of Orion. ArieForce One is a play on words with Air Force One, but it comes from Arie, the family name that runs Fun Spot Atlanta. So it kind of has a space and slash flight theme. Once you make it up to the stairs, you'll be able to pick your row. Now personally, I felt that the front and back were very similar, except in certain moments which I would prefer the back. So you really can't go wrong with any row on this train. You'll pick your own row, and then you'll watch the unique train front come into the station. It kind of looks like something you would see in an Alien name. It's very strange. This ride usually will be running only one train, as Fun Spot Atlanta never got the crowd, so this ride didn't see those numbers. Probably on closing weekend, maybe we'll see many enthusiasts coming out to say this ride goodbye for now. We may see 2 train operations. Anyway, once on board, you will dispatch and head down this small drop. RMCs are known to have these unique pre-lift section, and ArieForce One is no exception. I think this may be my favorite RMC pre-lift because in the back, you're really just coasting through the station and you suddenly drop. It's no big drop, but it may surprise you how this drop is at the very beginning of the ride. You then go through a few bunny hills, which kind of remind me of the end of Steel Vengeance, until you lock into this lift hill and you'll head up this loud lift hill. All RMCs have loud lift hills, and this is just like any other. You head up 155 feet or 47 meters and then go down your first drop of 146 feet or 45 meters. When riding this in the front, there's kind of like an moment and you kind of forget it, but in the back, it is a decent drop. There's nothing special about this moment, and that's mainly because all the other elements you go through later on this ride is just more memorable. And the drop is something you forget when you're even talking about ArieForce One. You'll reach your top speed of 64 miles per hour or 103 kilometers per hour, and you have good speed going into your first element, the Raven Thrust Drive. This is very similar to the dive loop, except with a difference in which you have the structure all around you. You'll begin banking to the right, and the first time I rode this, I was expecting us to bank right towards the ground, but instead, you will suddenly whip downwards to the left. And this is something I'm not expecting, and it's a great moment with some whip that I don't think many people are talking about when discussing the ride. You dive down within the support structure all around you, and once you hit the bottom, you take the small airtime hill, which is similar to the hill you'll find at Steel Vengeance after the first drop. It gives a great pop of ejector that is quick as you head into your next element, a 0G stall. This is the largest in North America and looks quite impressive under that lift hill. These 0G stalls from RMC are very quick, and although you are there for a bit, you're not feeling hang time, unlike something similar like the cutback on Copperhead Strike. That is actually giving hang time, while this is just giving you perfect 0G with great pacing. From that moment, you go into the outer bank, which is a very similar sensation to Steel Vengeance that gives you strong ejector. And although they're very similar, I do give the edge on Steel Vengeance because you feel much higher to compare to the one on ArieForce One. Next is your double up. Starting with the first double up, I would say this is the weakest airtime hill of the ride. It's still giving strong ejector, but it's just a quick pop, and it's something you forget. This is very similar to the hills on Steel Vengeance that are strong moments that aren't memorable due to them being so quick that they feel like you don't have time to show their full potential. The next part of the double up is amazing because you're dropping fully down, so you're able to get the ejector airtime with it being sustained. Very similar to Twisted Timber's Camelback, but I would say maybe even more sustained. ArieForce One is generally very comparable to the other iBox coaster, even with this being the first RMC designed by Joe Draves. He did an amazing job stepping into Alan Schulke's footsteps, but he would differentiate itself with the next moment ArieForce, an arcade roll. And if there's any moment on the ride that left me a bit disappointed, I would have to say it's this element, because so many people talk about how rapid this roll is. But I didn't feel that. It's a cool element, but personally, the next few moments is what is best about ArieForce One. You have the outer bank hill to the left that is giving powerful ejector, and then you twist completely to the right into this turn that will make you gray out. RMCs are typically known for their negative Gs and great pacing, but this turn is giving such powerful positives that you're graying out until you get to or even after this next barrel roll, which comes out of nowhere. You know, many people talk highly about the arcade roll, but I think this roll may probably be my favorite inversion on the ride because you are graying out with the positives of the turn, but you suddenly take this inversion. I love this part of the ride. When you're sitting on the front, you're getting a gray out beginning in the turn until you're about to roll, but the back begins to gray out until you're ending the turn until the end of the roll. You then head into the quad down. Now, many people feel that this is maybe too much airtime, it may be too painful, but not for me. I love this ending. It's airtime after airtime after airtime after airtime after airtime. It's so great with all those airtime hills. But when I'm comparing it to other strong moments of airtime, such as the Trick Track double up on Twisted Timbers, I think this has more short pops compared to that moment, which has the same moments, which maybe is why I prefer that moment still. But it's still a great moment as you head down these hills until you reach the brake run, which you will immediately stop. It's very strange that this suddenly stop, but that is because of the short brake run that ArieForce One has. You'll turn into your station, and that's your ride. And when discussing if this ride is deserving of the high praises it gets, I think this ride deserves it. While certain moments may feel a bit overrated, this ride is packed with airtime. It's also able to keep its pacing and ensure that no moments feel dull. And that's something that I can appreciate this ride, that it doesn't let up. So to give this ride a score, the score is going to be based off similar rides and experience and not the overall ranking of this ride. So I'm going to give it a 4.9 out of 5 stars. It's an amazing experience with tons of airtime that I hope it will be able to find its new home soon. Maybe Worlds of Fun, but if you can, get your ride on ArieForce One before Fun Spot Atlanta closes officially on August 2nd, 2026. So thank you so much for watching. You can check out my other reviews, or just don't, because they're not the best, and I'm hoping to create new ones in the future. So thank you so much, and keep chilling with the Coaster Dude. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.